Okay. All right. Well, I just kind of wanted to, with having, so many new on board in the last month ish, and last month too. It's always kind of nice to have like a refresher crash course, just kind of like a nutrition 101. I'm not going to dive deep into any one specific topic that I'm going to talk about tonight. I'm just kind of do an overview because a lot of times when we come into um, this tribe, we're overwhelmed by the amount of information that is out there. The amount of resources that we have there's a lot, but sometimes it can be overwhelming. So I just wanted to kind of give you guys just a little brief um, description of what we all have, what's there, how to get to it, and you take what you want from it and leave the rest. All of it is optional. Hi, Kylie. Um, I'm just going to go over kind of nutrition 101, like a little crash course. I'm not going to dive deep into any one specific topic because we've had a lot of new onboarding. So I always think it's kind of good to just give a little refresher course. And Kylie, you can help me with some ideas too, because you're kind of like a veteran here, right? So I'm going to start with just macros as a whole. So macronutrients, calories are broken down into three macronutrients. You have your carbohydrates, your proteins, and your fats. Your carbohydrates are your number one primary source of fuel, energy. So your potatoes, your breads, your rices, fruits, veggies. I mean, so many foods come from carbs, and 1 gram of carb breaks down to 4 calories. Your protein is going to be your building block of all your cells, your hair, your nail, your skin, your organs, everything. And it is the most satiating of all the macronutrients, which means it keeps you fuller for longer. It also has the highest thermal value, so you actually are burning calories as you're metabolizing it. So that's why you'll hear Coach Trista and I say so much like, more protein, more protein. All macronutrients are important, but the properties that come with having more protein are just, they're, endless. Also, the more protein that you do have, the more lean muscle mass that you will preserve. And the more lean muscle mass that you have on your body, the higher your basal metabolic rate is, meaning you get to eat more food. So again, all the properties of it are just, are endless. It's the same as carbohydrates. 1 gram of protein breaks down to 4 calories. Your fats, they are your hormone regulator. They also help with the absorption of minerals and vitamins. They're very, very important when women a lot of times think that the less fat, the better, which is not the case at all, because women need them to regulate their hormones. They're so important for our rest, our sleep, recovery, all of it. The difference between fats and carbohydrates and protein is that 1 gram of fat breaks down to 9 calories. So that's why you will see that a lot of times you're only having anywhere between 20 to 30% of your calories will be coming from fat, which is around anywhere from like 50 to 65 grams of fat. I think I said that right. Yes. So that's just kind of a little overview of macronutrients as a whole. I will show you shortly. I will share my screen with you, and I will show you how to change when we prescribe you your macro or your nutrition goal. I will show you how to change that hit inside your MyFitnessPal to reflect the numbers that we provide you. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you now. Okay, can you guys see me or see my screen? Okay.
Yes.
All right, so I want to do that first, okay? So if you are, just know that the desktop does look different than your phone, so I do apologize, but typically it's kind of all the same button, it's just in a different spot. So what you want to do is go to your home or your dashboard and somewhere find your goals. I think it's under settings maybe, or under your profile. There's many ways to get to your goals, but get to your goal. And what you will do is you will edit it. You'll hit edit. I think mine's under, like, it's halfway down. after I click on goals on my phone, you scroll a little bit down and then you go to your daily nutritional goals and you hit edit or you click on the tab. You have to change your calories. Is it not going to let me on my computer? Okay. Well, on my phone, I have to change my calories before I can change my percentages. Yeah, that's weird. That's why it's so different on the desktop. I apologize. But anyways, so inside on your phone, it's weird. It's like a little wheel that it will fluctuate between percentages. And unless you have you subscribe to the premium, you can only be within 5%. It only goes in like 5% increments. So I couldn't change this to like 43% of my carbs coming from there we go. That's why it was doing that. I had to change it. So you would adjust your calories and then you would do the drop down. Oh, and I guess even with the subscription, you can only change it by 5%. But when you're done adjusting it, because sometimes me and Coach Trista don't go by fives. We fluctuate it by 1%. Just get as close as you can. Remember, none of this has to be done perfectly. And that goes for your entire program. You don't have to do any of this perfectly because that wouldn't be realistic. I mean, it's just setting yourself up for failure. So just remember, just get as close as you can. And that goes for entering your foods, weighing your foods, picking a recipe, all of it. Just do it as close as you can. But before you're done, you want it to be at 100% and then you save it. So that's how you change your goals inside MyFitnessPal to reflect the ones inside your Trainerize. I did not know how to do that the first year I was a client at all. I didn't even think about changing them. I just used my Trainerize goals. But anyways, so I kind of I did in the Q&A group, I went ahead and I showed you guys how to build a recipe. So make sure you guys refer to that because I don't want you guys to be entering every ingredient in every single time you make something. You should only have to do it one time. And after you do that, it will save and it will just like auto populate in the next time you punch in casserole. Tonight I had taco pie. So all I had to type in was taco pie because I had already saved the recipe from the very first time I entered it in. So be sure to go watch that video. It's really fast. I think I recorded it under 2 minutes. It's worth watching. So, okay, so we've already saved our goals. I'm going to unshare my screen real quick. I printed this off. Inside the client resources is a meal plan or a recipe, like favorite recipes that I gathered over 4 days. I was asking the tribe, what's your favorite snack? What's your favorite breakfast meal? What's your favorite lunch? And so I made this template for ideas because everyone's like, I don't know what to make. And the funny thing about it is food. Just make food. Like it doesn't have to a lot of times I feel like we make this a lot harder than it has to be. I was one myself who did that too, but you just eat regular food. And I encourage you to eat the same food that your family eats because that's what I eat. The only time I eat anything different is bread because I can't have bread. And it's not because I'm on a diet. It's because I have celiac. So sometimes my meals look a little bit different, but not because of my lifestyle. It's because of my disease, if that's what you want to call it. But anyways, I will actually go ahead and share my screen again because I'm going to show you guys how to find this this resource here. So if you go back to our Google Drive, it's in your Google Drive and just search meal ideas, okay? And it's right here. So I did this with Victoria yesterday or the day before. We hopped on a call together and we just picked out some meals for the week. And I think we did it for just 4 or 5 days. We kept it really simple. I don't want you guys to be like planning for a whole week or 2 at a time. Just start out really small. But it has even snack ideas. Print this off. If you're struggling with meal ideas, I highly suggest you print this off. Go ahead.
It was a really good one. I really liked that one. I mean, and I've been part of the group for a minute and I'm like, ooh, I like that one.
Yes.
You did great.
thank you. So I wanted to, then I want you to go and I want you to like ask yourself, what are you going to have? I'm going to stop sharing again. What are you going to have for the week? I like to bulk prep my proteins. I always have ground turkey and I have grilled chicken ready and available to go at any time. I make salads with it. I make tacos with it. I make sloppy joes with it. I mean anything that my family has, I have the same thing. I'll just switch out like the ground turkey because they sometimes I trick them, but they always say they know, but I don't think they really do. But I try not to like make them have it. So but most likely, I have the same exact meal that they have. I just will switch out my ground turkey. Or like if we're having tacos, they have a flour tortilla, I have a corn tortilla. So, but I try to think of like how can I utilize my meals that I'm going to have for the entire week. Let me see, like for instance, last night we had that buffalo chicken casserole that I made. So I had that for lunch today. And because I had already programmed that into my supper last night, I was able to copy and paste it to my lunch so fast. Same thing with my supper tonight. I did the exact same thing. I had a taco pie, so I copied and pasted that to my lunch for tomorrow. I've already pre-logged my breakfast because I typically have the same thing always for breakfast. It might look a little different by like maybe instead of only one rice cake, maybe I'll have two. I mean, but for the most part, like I just quick add the same meal. And if I have something different within it, I'll delete it or and add to it. Like I don't try to overcomplicate it. Um, let's see. And so now, but then after I did that, I knew exactly what I have to work with as far as snacks and suppers for tomorrow. So I wanted to share that with you as well. Okay, there you are. So here's my food and then my diary. So this is today's. So I even actually have enough to have, like I've had a Nutri-Grain today. I've had some zesty for like I've had a lot of food today. But because I pre-logged it all, like I was able to stay within my macros and still have room for dessert. As you can see, I still have 17 grams of protein to work with and 35 grams of carbs. So I will be having some kind of dessert, probably like some Greek yogurt with blueberries. And I got some kiwi, you guys. It's so delicious. I don't ever really get kiwi, but it's been a kind of a nice switch up in things. So I did that. But anyway, so let's go ahead and slide over to tomorrow. And I wanted to share one more thing with you. I have been a very laxed on weighing my food. So that was part of my goal this week is getting back into like the habit of, just cleaning up my nutrition because I have a wedding coming. So I have some goals. Okay. So I know I'm so excited. One thing I noticed that I wasn't measuring my creamer and I was getting a little carried away. I was like squeezing it. Okay. So the portion size for creamer is 2 teaspoons, not tablespoons. And I'm telling you what, I have been very disappointed these last 2 days. Like, okay, there's a big difference. So I'll bet you, with that being said, I've been going over my fat probably the last 4 months, probably by 20 grams a day.
Yep.
So, I mean, that's just something I just want you to just kind of think about. If you love creamer so much to the point to where you don't want to cut that out of your diet, make sure you're entering it right at least, okay? I mean, just be realistic with yourself. You're not hurting anyone but you. You're not being dishonest with anyone but yourself. Like I'm here to just help guide you and provide you with the tools, but I was only hurting myself by not accurately measuring my foods. All right. And there is a point in time in everyone's journey where that is the goal, to intuitively eat, to not measure your foods forever. However, that's not where I'm at today. I have a goal and I'm trying to lose weight and, lean up. So I just know that it's not always, I'm not always going to be doing this. And I've went through phases where I don't, and because that's where I wanted to be. I don't want to be there today. So I have to make sure that my actions are in alignment with what my goals are. Okay, so tomorrow I went ahead and I copied and I pasted what I'm going to have for tomorrow. Something that yesterday or today I had logged 2 rice cakes, and that's why I have more carbs to work with now, is because I initially logged in 2 rice cakes and I was kind of full this morning, so I only ended up having one. So I deleted the extra one, and that's why I have so much more to work with. So I was kind of happy about that because now I'm having dessert. Like I said, I'm going to have my taco pie. And I'm actually going to have a lettuce salad with this. But after you pre-log or, do macros in MyFitnessPal for so long, you will kind of learn what foods are not worth entering. And lettuce is one of those. I don't have the time to enter every lettuce and carrot. Like, they just don't add up enough to they have a lot of micronutrients. They are very nutrient, but they don't have a very big macronutrient value. So I don't enter that. So tomorrow I'll be having a piece of that taco pie with a lettuce salad. I will put a little bit of grilled chicken on it because the taco pie doesn't have a whole lot of protein in it. So I'm making up for it by adding 2 ounces of grilled chicken. I use non-fat cottage cheese as my salad dressing because, again, dressings add up very, very fast, and I do not like fat-free dressings. They're disgusting. So something I have used that does help is cottage cheese. So then tomorrow we're having pork loin. That's something that I typically have Brian make when I'm not going to be able to make dinner. And so it's just something quick. I have it all entered. And like I said, I'm doing pretty good on my macros here. Let's see, I went over on my protein. I'm always okay with that. I'm really low on my fat. So somewhere in here, I will find a way to make up for that because that's pretty low. Let's see. Okay, the last thing. I'm going to stop sharing now. I think I've covered it all. Kylie, would you like to add anything that I may have missed inside MyFitnessPal Flex or macros as a whole?
As a whole, I think you really got it covered good. Like you said, when you pre-log ahead, and then you can really work with them, your numbers at the bottom. That's the best. And I have a hard time. Either I go way over fat or I don't ever get enough. So it is something nice to have when you pre-log it. It's just a better control.
Mm-hmm. And I literally, after I had dinner, is when I sat down and I pre-logged for tomorrow because for one, because I wanted to be able to show you guys how it works. And I didn't want to do it on the desktop because it's not the same. Entering on the desktop is not the same as on your phone. But I wanted to share like how flexible dieting works. We do have one client, she literally tracks as she goes. She does not meal prep. She does not pre-log. She's like amazing at it. It's freaking insane. Like, I don't know, like I bet I could do it too. But the fact that she doesn't do like any prepping to hit her goals is just awesome to me. But anyways, a lot of times people get caught up in like, well, I don't like to pre-log because I might not eat what I'm gonna already pre-logged. That's okay. You're already like 2 meals ahead of the game. If you swap one of the meals out, you've still saved yourself, logging those other 2 meals. Like, it's not set in stone. Like I've said, none of this has to be done perfectly at all. Someone else is popping on. So don't get caught up in the like it happening to be perfect, or the fact that like if it's entered then you have to eat it. You can swap a freaking banana for a apple or whatever it is, or your hamburger for a chicken. Like, it's really simple. So just don't get caught up on it having to be perfect. I wanted to talk about flexible dieting just real quick. Who do we have here? Hi, sweetie. How are you? Are you headed to work?
No, I did a change of schedule and I took tonight off and I'll work
Okay.
Thursday night instead. So yeah.
All right. Well, I'm just kind of wrapping it up. I wanted to touch on, I was just kind of doing like a crash course of nutrition 101. Nothing, I mean, I do have it recorded, so you can watch the recording. Um, I did a call earlier today, and one of the questions was, can I drink alcohol? And yes, you can. You most definitely can. You can have cake, you can have pizza, you can have whatever you want. That is the best part about macros and flexible dieting. So, something that I had suggested to her, and I would to anybody, is if you know that you're going to go out with friends and drink, just kind of have a plan going into it. Several different things you can do to kind of prepare yourself for that is make sure that you have your water intake done before you start drinking. And this is another tool that I suggest for those who are heavy pop drinkers as well. Like, don't start drinking pop. Kylie can vouch for this. Don't start drinking pop until you've met your water goal. Same with alcohol. If you're going to go out and have a birthday celebration, have your drinks, maybe don't have your dessert, or have your dessert and don't have your drinks. I'm kind of like have swaps, like decide which one you want more. Another one is kind of like what number of drinks are you comfortable with having, where you can make better choices. And I don't mean like getting wasted. That's not what I'm talking about. Well, it kind of comes with that. But what I mean is like at like 3 drinks, you're good. You go home, you feel good about yourself. But at 5, maybe you go home and you order nachos and you eat a whole pizza. That's what I'm talking about. Like what kind of, we all are grown adults. We know what that number is. We know what number of drinks it is that we don't know how to make best, the better choices anymore. So kind of just, and then make a goal like, okay, well then if 5's too many, 3, I feel good, then no more than 4. You've made a plan. And then another thing I would suggest is if you know that you're going and things come up and you randomly will go out, and that's fine. This doesn't have to be done perfectly. One day is not going to ruin the progress you have made. But if you do know and you're planning for it, go ahead and make sure that you've had high protein, low carbs during the day so that you can go and have those drinks and not feel guilty about having them and reach your goals. Still stay within your macros.
And
So,
I don't know if this is like, for like the drinking for alcohol. I mean, I would assume so, but I know like with pop when I started, if I, like you said, meet your water goal first, well, I would make sure that I drank a whole glass of water or get so many ounces of water in before I had that pop or in between, every pops and stuff. So like for alcohol, I always try to promote if you have a drink, then make sure you drink your water as well, because then you're still drinking it in the moment, but it could lessen the number of drinks you
yeah,
have
and it
including
will.
the water.
It
So
most definitely will. And I know like during the summer, a lot of people are like, I'm having a hard time getting my water in because I'm at the lake all the time. And so that's always my suggestion. Just don't start drinking until you've met your water goal, because then you've already reached your goal. Then you can drink and have fun and not have to worry about it. And most importantly, not have like the guilt the next day. Like that's what I would be like, oh my gosh, I ate horrible yesterday. And but you can eat horrible and still reach your goals with flexible dieting. You really can. And it does take a little bit of practice. And I am a firm believer, the more you screw up, the more you learn from it. So I am always here to help anyone. I helped Victoria on Sunday create a meal plan for the week. I will gladly do that to you. I will not send you one though, because that takes away from you getting to choose the food you eat. It goes against kind of what we promote inside the Fit Life Tribe. Like, I want you to eat the foods that you want to eat, not
and
that
learning,
I prescribe.
and learning how for you to do it,
Yeah.
having
And
somebody walk you through it always gives you a big confident booster, I think, of
mhm.
being able to do it yourself then.
Yeah. So I think I covered it all. Stacy, how you doing, hun? I'm gonna actually hold on real quick. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna stop recording because I kind of covered everything. Everyone can still stay on, but I'm just gonna stop recording.